Raw took place tonight in Tampa, Florida, and this was the third consecutive show for WWE in Tampa. You had that awful Saturday night's main event on Saturday. Sunday was Battleground for NXT, which was a very good show, and tonight was Raw. Chamora was supposed to be NXT, but they had to move it, so this is the end of Tampa's weekend of WWE. Michael Cole thanked Tampa at the end of the show, and here's the last show we had. Seth Rollins and his stable kick off the show tonight with Paul Heyman at first putting over each individual member. First Braun Breaker, then Bronson Reed, then Seth Rollins. Heyman tells the fans to acknowledge Seth Rollins. The fans start chanting, "Fuck you, Rollins." Rollins is cutting a basic promo here, but he has nuclear heat for some reason. They're really pissed off at him. And really don't get an explanation as to why Bronson Reed joined up with Seth, even though he tried to kill him last year. But we didn't get much of an explanation. Maybe we get it next week. Or maybe they just don't care and they I think we'll just forget, because it was such a heavy angle. I mean, he crushed the guy's sternum. He crushed his midsection. He crushed him. He was bleeding internally. He had Penta, Chad Gable, and Dragon Lee in a triple threat match. This was a Money in the Bank qualifying match. He had Vikingo in attendance. Gable attacked him, and of course Gable subbed to face Vikingo at Worlds Collide. And when that happened, I think it's obvious Chad Gable isn't winning this match. And the winner was so obvious because we all know Gable's set up to face Vikingo. It sort of actually made sense to have Vikingo cost Gable and then set up the match after and announce it. But they already announced it. And Dragon Lee they knew nothing with, so it was obvious who the winner was going to be here. But after Gable attacked him, Gable was on the top rope, and Vikingo gave him like a big boot, and Chad just got busted open badly. He was bleeding like crazy. Dragon Lee got taken out with the Mexican Destroyer by Penta. Then Penta hit the Penta driver on Chad Gable and got the win, so Penta qualifies for the Money in the Bank ladder match. You have the Judgment Day backstage. You've had Carlito and Dom, I think, were playing a video game. You had Finn and JD there, then Raquel there, and Roxanne, who Raquel doesn't like. And then, making her return, Liv Morgan. She's back, and she is upset. She's upset with Dom for talking to Roxanne, and she makes it known that she has a problem. And then her and Raquel leave, and they're set up Liv's match later tonight. Which, I mean, they didn't announce, but we kind of knew she was going to do something when her and Raquel walked off, so Roxanne wasn't allowed to go with them. You had Rusev and Akira Tozawa, so Rusev crushes him. I think we all knew that would happen. He keeps the hold on. I'm thinking Otis maybe, but then Sheamus is back, and he confronts Rusev, and that's the next opponent for Rusev and Sheamus. Kathy Kelly just interviewed two loser comedians I don't give a shit about. Two Netflix guys that they have to promote. They turned into some stupid comedy thing with the War Raiders. I didn't give a shit. New Day's out. Who cares? These guys have no heat. They're just done, man. The New Day sucks. Not in a good way. They have go-away heat. So you had Sami Zayn talking to Jey Uso backstage about fighting Seth and his faction. You had New Day against American Made against the War Raiders in a triple threat tag team match for the tag team titles. So it ended with Xavier Woods rolling up one of the Creed Riders for the win. New Day just sucks. They just have go-away heat. I don't care to see them anymore. You had Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez walking down the hallway. Then suddenly they run into Io Sky talking to her good friend Kairi Sane. Liv briefly brought up Damage Control. That's one of the first times I've heard that name in a while, them say that faction's name. And it's too bad they had to fire Dakota Kai. But Damage Control is obviously over right now. And it was obvious because Io wasn't with Kairi during her match. But anyway, Liv mocks Kairi Sane for losing last week to Rhea Ripley. And then she tells Io Sky that she's going to cash in on her. Io talks back, and then Kairi defends herself by talking in Japanese. Eventually, Liv insults them again, and then Kairi challenges Liv to a match with her tonight, which Liv accepts, and we had Liv Morgan and Kairi Sane. Jey Uso's out. I don't give a fuck. I hate this guy. His promos are just fucking ass. Then Gunther interrupts him, and I thought, I don't want to see this anymore. I mean, it's obvious that's going to happen in Phoenix in 2 weeks for Raw. Is it actually? It's next week in Phoenix. Yeah, it is next week. It's right before the. Sorry, it's right before the Elimination Chamber. I don't care, man. I guess we're getting Goldberg next week, maybe. But I'm just so over this feud. I don't care about it. I don't care to see it anymore. I'm just done. I am so sick of it, man. But we got this feud. Jey Uso is out here, and I'm just, I don't want to watch this guy. And they just exchange. It sucks. And Gunther says, I'll make you tap out. It felt like they're feuding for 6 months because they immediately started feuding right after Royal Rumble last year. And they were actually feuding before that because they had that horrible match on Saturday Night's Main Event in January, which Jey's just such an awful wrestler. Jey keeps challenging him, and I don't even know what's happening here. It's like, I don't care about this feud, and Jey's just the worst champion. He is the worst world champion in recent history. I think he's probably the worst champion since, like, Jinder Mahal or something. The whole, it's so fucking cringe, man. Liv Morgan's out next. Then her opponent, Kairi Sane, comes out, and then we get Liv and Kairi. Not a bad matchup. Liv's been out for a while, and Kairi's obviously one of the best female wrestlers. So what happens here is you had Roxanne Perez interfering, and Kairi Sane was going to hit the insane elbow drop onto Liv Morgan, but then Roxanne knocks her off the top rope. And then you had Raquel just get pissed off on Roxanne. She's helping Liv, and she's mad at Roxanne. I don't know what her issue is. And Raquel's so mad that Liv gets distracted, and Liv starts getting angry because they're yelling at each other. Liv then goes for Oblivion, but Kairi had too much time to recover. Kairi then rolls up Liv, and Kairi Sane gets a surprise victory over Liv Morgan. Good win for Kairi after losing to Rhea last week. I don't think she was ever going to lose to Rhea planned. I think it was always going to be Zoe Stark taking the fall, but Kairi they had to get Rhea Ripley in, and, Zoe gets hurt, so Kairi had to get pinned. Speaking of Rhea Ripley, we got a video promo by Rhea Ripley on the Money in the Bank match. So sadly, the fans didn't get to see Rhea live. They would have loved her. She gets loud ovations wherever she goes. You had Lyra Valkyria walking backstage, heading to the ring. You had Chad Gable yelling at American Made on the break. Then he bumps into Vikingo to promote the match. He randomly gets sucker punched by AJ Styles, who's pissed off at him for some reason. You had Vic Joseph promoting NXT in front of the live crowd. You had a Judgment Day segment, and they're all backstage again, and Liv is very upset with Raquel Rodriguez. She's disappointed in Raquel, and everyone thinks she's going to be mad at Roxanne, but she's upset that Raquel betrayed, was the veteran here, and she made a mistake, and she is upset with her and blames her for her loss, and she walks out. So they're clearly setting up tension between Liv and Raquel. It's obvious, I think. I don't know where this is going to go. People think, Dom's going to turn on Liv just like he did he's going to, last year when he turned on Rhea for Liv, he might do the same. He's going to turn on Liv for Roxanne. Might not happen here, but we'll see what they do. I hope they do something different. I already saw that last time. You had Lyra Valkyria out next, and they announced that Lyra's facing Becky in a rematch at Money in the Bank for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Lyra cuts a promo on Becky. Becky comes out and insults Lyra's fiance. Becky says if she loses, she can't challenge for the belt again. And then they brought up the NXT match from 2023, which Lyra won. And Becky says if she beats Lyra, Lyra has to raise her hand, and Lyra agreed. So we're getting the rematch. I don't mind. The match at Backlash was really good, so I'm looking forward to that. He had Sami Zayn walking down the hallway, carrying across the box to him for never winning the title. Sami said something back. I didn't even hear what he was saying. Then we get the main event, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, triple threat match, Money in the Bank qualifying. And you had Sami doing a really cool tribute to Sabu in the match. He does that split, the springboard moonsault kind of, where Sabu would use the ropes, and he would kick his legs off the top rope and do a moonsault to the outside. So it's a tribute to Sabu. Thank you, Sami, for that. There's interference here in the end from Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, and Jey Uso comes out to try even the odds, but then they beat down Jey. Dominic Mysterio comes in, throws a chair in the ring to help Finn, but Seth sees it, and he gets there. It's his feet fast, hits a curb stomp, and pins Finn Balor after it hits a curb stomp onto the chair and gets the win. Exact same spot at SummerSlam in 2023 when I think it was Damian Priest threw in the briefcase, And then Seth hit Finn with the Crips onto the briefcase to win, so they just repeated the exact same spot. Seth beats Finn one more time. Of course, he always beats him again. And we got more tension with Judgment Day. And then he had Punk's music hit. Braun and Bronson went to the top of the aisle to look for him. And by the way, you saw the same setup from Saturday Night's Main Event. They used the same thing for Battleground, but Punk comes in, he hits it, go to sleep onto Rollins, and he goes into the crowd and leaves. I was thinking, why didn't he just cost him the match? But that's how Raw ended. They didn't put much effort this week. It was just an okay show. Ended early. I guess it's the Memorial Day show, so they didn't really take it as seriously. Raw wrestling's not very good in May. It's like the worst month for wrestling. But that was Raw tonight. Nah, just kind of a paint by the numbers show. Not a bad show. Just there, to be honest. Nothing much really happening. Just setting up stuff for the future, planting seeds. It was what it was.